carry out their goals. This experience also helped him develop a concept for an organization called the Needs Foundation. Please give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Gary Adams.
The secret of success is to find a need and fill it, to find a hurt and heal it, to find someone with a problem and offer to help solve it. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. If any of you are like me, you may have volunteered for a cause or a nonprofit in the past. Any of you? There's a few. A long time ago, I was part of Leadership Seminole. I was also the lead on our class project, which was renovating two 6,000 square foot homes on the corner of Dyke and Dodd Road for foster kids aging out of the foster care system. Myself, along with many others, spent 40 hours a week working on those houses. Me personally, I did that as well as working my full-time 40-hour job. It was at that time that I learned about the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people do 80% of the work. I don't think that was because the latter group didn't want to help. I think it was actually for a lot of other reasons. I'll never forget sitting around some old paint buckets with Pastor Paul Hoyer, Lindell Patrick, and a few others. We had just finished ripping down multiple layers of wallpaper, chipping up flooring. We were exhausted. Paul was actually telling everyone about a nonprofit he was trying to start called Shepherd's Hope to help people with medical needs. Lindell spoke up and said, "Hey, my business, we throw away office furniture every week. If you need anything," I looked at him and said, "Wow, I wish I would have known last week. We just finished renovating all the offices in our church." Right about then, another volunteer walks in and says, "Hey, I'm here to help. Not really sure what I know how to do, but hey, if someone needs legal advice." Lindell looks up and he's like, "Hey, yeah, where were you a week ago?" We all had a good laugh, and then it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. The 80-20 rule isn't because people don't want to help. They do. Helping others is natural to us. Our empathy encourages us to want to do things to help people, to help causes. It lifts us up. It fills our hearts. The big problem is 90% of the nonprofits, they're not easy to do business with. When we have the time, they don't have the need. When they have the needs, we usually don't have the time. If it was just somehow easier, we need to find that need and fill it. And then I had this idea. 15 years ago, back at Leadership Seminole, when we were sitting around on those buckets, for a nonprofit, for an organization called the Needs Foundation. It's still just an idea, but it's one of those ideas that I've held very close to my heart for many years. What if there was a database, a website, an app that could quickly align people's skills, their talents, their availability, the needs of nonprofits, and align those together? Find a need, fill a need. There are over 2 million nonprofits in the United States. There's over 10 million worldwide. There's also over 2 million apps available, none of which are set up to help nonprofits. The average person spends 3 hours a day on an app. That's over 15 hours a week. Think of how many people could have been helped, things recycled, reused, if only it was actually easier to do. A plumber, an accountant, an attorney could quickly go on the app. They could line up their availability, their skill set with actual needs of nonprofits all over the country. maybe an hour a week, maybe a few hours a month, the impact that they could make would be huge. Now, this is going to require a database being built, code to be written, planning, brainstorming. But it's in our nature to want to make a difference, to leave a legacy. The thought of the fact that Amazon and Starbucks, they were just an idea at one time. There's also a large potential for profit within this nonprofit, but more importantly, the ability to be able to help people get involved on a regular basis to make it easy to actually give back. Because that's the hardest part. We normally just don't have the time to line up our skill sets. I feel we've lost a big part of community. The days of the good old barn raising just are kind of long gone. By creating something like the Needs Foundation would be a way to help people get involved, to bring back that sense of community, compassion, to find a way to actually create connection between everyone involved. Helping others is my most important responsibility in this lifetime. I feel like I've held on to this idea long enough. It's time to make it happen. Genius doesn't lie in just the thought. It doesn't lie in the execution. Genius lies within the joining of the two. I wanted to share this with all of you as my friends. Moreover, it's like my extended family. I welcome any suggestions that any of you may have, any feedback to help this idea become a reality, because I truly believe that this is something that could change the world. Toastmasters.